Okarche is a small farming community in a remote part of Oklahoma, but it's also a community that has a very deep history of faith and a very vibrant experience of church. And so as a kid, I grew up there and I began serving Mass. At the end of my freshman year of college, I had an experience that reawakened within me an openness and even a desire for priesthood. And that happened in March of 1981. And I remember being in the sacristy before Mass was ready to start. Something changed about that room, and I knew it immediately. And as I looked over, a priest had come into the sacristy that I did not know his name, but he had a presence to him that I will never forget. It was a tangible spiritual presence, and I was captivated by that. And yet when I say that there was a tangibly spiritual presence to him, it was something that I felt instinctively. And it was in the middle of serving that Mass that I remember distinctly making the decision that I needed to be open to being a priest again. And only after the Mass did I ask my parents, who was that priest? And they said, that's Father Stanley Rother. He's the missionary in Guatemala. And 4 months later, he was martyred. And so I credit him with my priesthood because he really gave me an example, an inspiring example of what it means to be a priest in the image of Jesus, who is the Good Shepherd and lays down his life for the flock.
So I think he's a witness for all Christian people, but certainly for young men who are considering the priesthood. He's a great figure for us to lift up and point to as we talk about vocations to the priesthood and the kind of men that God may be calling to become priests. I think this is a very special time and a very special place. I think the church that has been built here, the Blessed Stanley Rother Shrine, was built very intentionally.
We're hoping that this is a pilgrimage site, not only to the tomb of Blessed Stanley Rother, but really to be able to see what God can do with an ordinary life.
We are a people who encounter God in the real experiences of our lives. And part of that real experience is by actually taking the time to make a pilgrimage and to come and be in the presence of Blessed Stanley Rother himself. So I think by having those discerning priesthood as well as seminarians make a pilgrimage to his shrine, learn about his life, they can be inspired in a way that will prepare them for heroic ministry in whatever parish they serve.